In the second half of the 19th century, Saxony, especially the Ore Mountains, saw the decline of its largest economic sector, mining. Companies went bankrupt, mines were closed, and many families suddenly found themselves without a source of income. So what to do? Switching to agriculture was not an option, as the landscape and the weather were highly unsuitable for it. However, the people knew how to help themselves. They used another resource that was right on their doorstep, the forest. And so it was that a new economic sector emerged from the mining crisis, which not only helped families to make ends meet, but also to use and develop the existing skills. The second half of the 19th century is considered the birthplace of Erzgebirge folk art. Follow me on a journey through the world of nutcrackers, smokers, angels, pyramids and candle arches. And with that, Glück auf and a warm welcome to Seiffen's, your channel for Erzgebirge folk art. We start with this unadorned box. There's a flap on the side that can be easily opened. The first thing you see is a white, wadded up padding that protects the contents well. But what's inside the box? Of course we start our first video with the most traditional of nutcrackers, the king in red uniform. Let's first take a look at what information this sparse packaging has to offer. On one side there's just a label from the manufacturer with a small picture of the figure and the description Nutcracker King, red, 29 centimeters or roughly 11.5 inches. Now let's get this handsome fellow out of his padded surroundings. Before we get down to the details, however, we first have to brush off the figure, as the padding looks pretty good, but also leaves a lot of fluff behind. Okay, now the king is finally standing there in all his glory. World class! The figure is of course a tribute to the kingdom of Saxony. My favorite king was Friedrich August II, who only had 18 first names, so you can imagine how difficult it was to correspond with him back then. Be that as it may, let's take a closer look. Nutcrackers are mainly made of local wood which is turned and then painted. The king stands on an approximately 6 cm wide dark green base. He wears plain black shoes to match his yellow leg dress. His uniform is red with yellow and blue applications and a white belt. It should be noted that all the details are painted on. It is often the case that larger figures also have more turned details. As benefits a king, this nutcracker also has a scepter. We continue with the beard and face. Here too, almost all the details are painted on, except for the nose. The king wears a white head of hair to match his white beard. Last but not least, of course, his crown sits on his head in luxurious black and gold. Only a cloak is missing to complete the ensemble. There's also a seal of quality from Seifener Volkskunst EG at the bottom of the figurine. Original Seiffen, genuine Erzgebirge. The king's head is adorned with a blue canopy. The Nutcracker King Red, 29 cm, currently costs around 100 euros. Unfortunately, folk art from the Erzgebirge has also fallen victim to inflationary pressure in recent years. But I'm sure the king can tell us more about that. I don't have a detailed active memory. Or maybe not. To sum up, the King Nutcracker has a traditional look. Modest as he is, he only has his crown and scepter with him. Other insignia are missing. But well, as we all know, the king resides in Dresden, where royal jewelry is often lost. And that brings us to the end of our little video. Thank you for watching, see you next time and Glück auf!